Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast Special Edition series where I preview and predict every college basketball conference tournament. And we've done the NEC, the Atlantic Sun, the Horizon, the Patriot League, the Big South, the OVC, the MVC, the Sun Belt, the West Coast, the SoCon, Colonial, Summit, America East, ACC, Big West, and now we're at our 16th show, which is Conference USA. And Conference USA is a big conference. The tournament is going to be held at the Ford Center at the Star in Frisco, Texas, where it's going to be played alongside the women's tournament for Conference USA as well. And now I'm going to go over the seedings for this tournament. Your 1 seed is Middle Tennessee. I should say 1 East is Middle Tennessee. 22-9 on the year, 13-5 in conference play. Your 1 West is North Texas. 23-5 on the year, 16-2 in conference play. Your 2 in the East, Western Kentucky. 19-12 on the year, 11-7 in conference play. Your 2 in the West, UAB. 24-7 on the year, 14-4 in conference play. Your 3 in the East is FAU. 18-13 on the year, 11-7 in conference play. Your 3 in the West is Louisiana Tech, 21-9 on the year, 12-6 in conference play. Your 4 in the East is Charlotte, 17-13 on the year, 10-8 in conference play. Your 4 in the West is UTEP, 18-12 on the year, 11-7 in conference play. Your 5 in the East is Old Dominion, 13-18 on the year, 8-10 in conference play. Your 5 in the West is Rice, 15-15 on the year, 7-11 in conference play. Your 6 in the East is FIU, 15-16 on the year, 5-13 in conference play. Your 6 in the West is UTSA, 10-21 on the year, 3-15 in conference play. Your 7 in the East is Marshall, 11-20 on the year, 4-14 in conference play. And your 7 in the West is Southern Miss, 6-25 on the year, 1-17 in conference play. And without further ado, here we go. It all begins on Tuesday, March 8th with the first round. You got West 7 Southern Miss against West 6 UTSA. Southern Miss is just awful, easily the worst team in this conference. 4 guys in double-digit scoring, though, with 14.5 points per game. Tyler Stevenson leads the way for them and his 7.7 rebounds per game as well. And for UTSA, 3 guys in double-digit points per game, led by the man in the middle, Jacob Germany, at 14.7 points per game. My projection for this is UTSA by 3 7/8, total of 138 and 9/10. Therefore, I have UTSA advancing, led by Germany. In the second of the 2 first-round games, East 7 Marshall and East 6 FIU. Marshall, probably the most disappointing team in the conference this year. But they have a good scorer in Tavion Kinsey with 18.8 points per game. And FIU has 2 guys in double-digit points per game, led by Tevin Brewer at 14.9 a game. My projection is Marshall by 7 total. I should say Marshall by 1. I have 7s in my head because that's their seed number. Marshall by 1, total of 145 and 9/10. So therefore, I have Marshall advancing to the second round. Second round, March 10th, Wednesday. West 5 Rice, East 4 Charlotte. Rice kind of fell off in conference play after a good non-con. Ended up as a 500 team, 3 guys in double figures per game, led by Carl Pierre at 15.4 a game. And in Charlotte, just a quiet team this year. A very elite scorer in Jameer Young at 19.8 per game. My projection is Charlotte by 2, total 145 and 1/10. So therefore, I have Charlotte advancing to the quarterfinals. W6 UTSA and W3 Louisiana Tech in the second of 4 second-round games. No total projection in this one because it's always harder to project totals than sides. La Tech kind of fell off a little bit in this conference. Very deep team, led by Kenneth Lofton Jr., 16.4 a game. They also have Amori Archibald at 13.2 and Keaston Willis at 12 a game. So a very balanced team My projection here is La Tech by 13.25, so therefore I have La Tech advancing to the quarterfinals. The third of four second round games, E5 Old Dominion and W4 UTEP. Old Dominion in the middle of the pack this year. Three guys in double-digit points per game, led by CJ Kaiser at 14-1 a game. And UTEP, I think, has been a nice little surprise in this conference this year, led by one of the better scorers in the conference, and Soleil Baum at 19-8 per game. My projection is UTEP by 2 1/8, total 132 and 2 and a fifth. Or 134 and a fifth is the total projection here. So therefore, I have UTEP advancing to the quarterfinals. And the last of four quarterfinal or second round games, E7 Marshall, E3 FAU. FAU has been decent this year. Two guys in double figures per game, led by Elijah Martin at 14-1 a game. My projection is FAU by 2 3/4, so therefore I have FAU advancing. Now it gets better. The quarterfinals. W4 UTEP against West 1 North Texas. North Texas, the best team in this conference, in conference play. Very deep team, led by Tyler Perry at 13.7 points per game and Thomas Bell at 12.6 points per game. My projection here is North Texas by 6 5/8. So therefore, I have North Texas advancing past UTEP, who I think will give them a game here, despite the large projection. The second of four quarterfinal games, E3 FAU and E2 Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky, very balanced team too. They have a good score in Davion McKnight at 16.1 points per game, and then another good one in Cameron Justice at 14-7 a game. And they also got two other good scorers in Jarius Hamilton and Josh Anderson, also averaging double figures per game. My projection here is Western Kentucky by 3 7/8, so therefore I have Western Kentucky advancing to the semifinals. The third of four quarterfinal games, East 4 Charlotte, East 1 Middle Tennessee. Middle Tennessee easily the biggest surprise in Conference USA play this season. Kind of fell off at the end of the conference play a little bit. Three guys in double-digit points per game, led by Josh Jefferson at 14-7 a game. But guess what, guys? I'm going to go with the upset here with Charlotte. I have them projected as a half-point favorite. And led by Young, I have them going to the semifinal. And I think Young will be the best player on the court in this game. In the last of four quarterfinal games, West 3 Louisiana Tech and West 2 UAB. UAB, a really good team in this conference, as they usually are. They have a solid big three, led by Jordan Walker at 19.3 points per game. They also got two other good scores in Quan Jackson and KJ Buffin. And my projection here is UAB by 1 1/8, so therefore I have UAB advancing to the semifinals. Semifinals, Friday, March 12th. East 2 Western Kentucky against West 1 North Texas. My projection for this game, I have, by the way, the semifinals and the championship both on CBS Sports Network. I got North Texas by 2 7/8. I just think that North Texas is the more dominant team, led by Perry, Bell, McBride, and Asawame. Although I do think Western Kentucky will be competitive and be really good in this game with McKnight, Justice, Hamilton, and Anderson. But I do think that North Texas will advance. In the second of the two semifinal games, East 4 Charlotte and West 2 UAB. I do love Young from Charlotte. UAB is a strong team. I love Walker too. But I just think that UAB is deeper, led by Walker. I have them projected as a whopping 7 over Charlotte, so therefore I have UAB in the championship. So, I'm sorry, Friday is the 12th. Not Saturday. So Friday's the 11th and Saturday's the 12th. So I apologize for that. And so in the championship, I have West 2 UAB and West 1 North Texas. Should be a fabulous game. These two teams are really good. Both teams are super deep. North Texas was the more dominant team in conference play, but I think the best player on the court will be Walker of UAB, and I have UAB projected as a 1 1/8 favorite, so therefore I have UAB. The UAB Blazers winning the 2022 Conference USA Men's Basketball Tournament, as I have them going to the big dance. And the question is, North Texas, do they have a shot at large? I'm going to say no. I don't think the Conference USA, despite being a strong conference, I don't think that they're strong as say, the Mountain West or even the American this year. Even though the American is weak from a depth standpoint, but Conference USA has good depth, but I just think that the American has some better teams in Houston and Memphis and some others as well. But yeah, UAB I have going dancing. And no, I do not think North Texas will get in as an at-large. But if they do make the tournament, I see them as a 12 seed if they win the auto bid. And UAB, I think, will be somewhere as like a 12 or a 13 seed if they were to win the auto bid. Okay, now I'm going to do odds for this tournament. The favorite is UAB at plus 170. North Texas is plus 185. Louisiana Tech is plus 850. Western Kentucky is plus 950. Middle's 10-1. FAU is 18-1. UTEP's 35. Charlotte's 40. Old Dominion 65. Rice is 130. FIU is 200. Marshall's 250. UTSA is 500. And so is Southern Miss. So if I had to pick a long shot to win this tournament, it's Charlotte. I love Young, and I think he's one of the better scorers, if not the best scorer in the conference. So if I had to pick a long shot to win this tournament, it's Charlotte at 40-1. But my winner for this tournament is UAB, who is actually a plus 170 favorite to win this tournament as well. So there you have it for Conference USA. Next up will be the Metro Atlantic.